that case, what does that say about the death of Modeste? If it's all true, maybe Savelli really did have something to do with it.
Probably. Who knows?
The taste of Gâteau de Bourg has changed. Modeste was convinced of this, even though everyone swore they couldn't tell. Being the perfectionist that he was, he refused to accept even the slightest flaw in his work. He stopped all sales of the product, locked himself away in the kitchen, and worked day and night, vowing to find out where he had gone wrong. But as he baked and taste tested over and over again, he found he only strayed further and further from the original taste. It was only when he was sipping on coffee one day and realized he could not taste the bitterness that the truth finally dawned on him. What had changed was not the gâteau, but his sense of taste. The treasure of Remoria stimulates the senses, taste included, and invigorates the spirit. In the short term, it offers people the ultimate gourmet experience, but in the long term, it dulls their senses entirely. In hindsight, it made perfect sense. After all, why would a culture that sought liberation from the constraints of their bodies care for the loss of their senses? But we realized it too late. We were just too late. Over the course of his many culinary experiments, Modeste exhausted the remaining supply of the treasure of Remoria. He consumed it all himself. The finest culinary talent of his generation now faced a future in which he would never be able to taste anything ever again. Finally, in despair, he took his own life.
Ah!
And because we had become estranged, I could not be there to stop him, to offer some words of comfort, or even to say goodbye. Yet despite everything, he sent me his final letter.
What did he say to you?
The treasure of Remoria? Guess Monica was really onto something. It really was a kind of drug.
So, Modeste chose to end his own life. Then, why all the rumors that Savelli murdered him? Also, neither the Codex nor any other contemporary records make any mention of the treasure of Remoria. It's almost as if someone deliberately erased it from history.
Modeste told me everything in his final letter. His was a tale of how even a genius could fail, and how much more devastating it is when it happens. Did he hope I would gain some personal catharsis from knowing the truth? Or maybe he wished for me to warn the public about the dangers of Gâteau de Bourg, proving that I had been right all along. But if the public ever learned how Modeste's greatest triumph became his undoing, his fall from grace would be swift and merciless. 1 minute a genius, the next a joke. It would surely spell the end for his restaurant too. What would be his legacy then? How would future generations view everything we built together? I fear the scorn I have faced these last years would pale in comparison to the scorn shown to him by the history books. I cannot let that come to pass.
So
I will do what I must to protect his name. It will mean tampering with his notes to remove the damning details, leaving mere fragments of our story behind. It may lead his family to suspect me of having a hand in his demise. But if that's the price of destroying all evidence of my crimes, then so be it. I would rather the world believe a tale of genius and jealousy than see his reputation in tatters. The final loose end is the evidence here, at the bottom of the sea.
Huh? What's wrong? Didn't we say Savannah should be safe for now?
So we thought, but if Monica finds out what happened to the treasure, there's no telling what she might do.
So, damn. Okay, so he erased everything so he can protect his friend's legacy. Good thing to do. Wow. Man, too bad. Some of these places you won't be
The
able to
treasure
see
of
again.
Remoria.
This place is
I have
so
found
good.
you at
Some of
last.
these places look so nice.
Savelli, you tried your best to bury the truth, but you underestimated the children of Modeste. Some fragments of his diary escaped your clutches, and we have held on to them for generations.
Wait,
But I have to thank you too, Savannah.
you're his kid?
Without your help
He had
retrieving
a
the
kid?
codex, and with it the
He had
last
kids?
piece of the puzzle, I may never have found this place. But now, finally, the secret to Remoria's military might is
That thing-
within
oh,
my grasp.
that thing
The
is
treasure
looking at
of
her.
Remoria is mine!
The statue is looking at her.
It's empty. It's empty?
Monica? Oh, we were seconds too late.
Escoffier? What's the deal with that jar?
Savelli's final act! He wanted to conceal the secret of the treasure forevermore and make sure it would never harm anyone again. So he came here after his friend's death and destroyed every last shred that remained.
This can't be happening. All the years I spent piecing together the truth. All my painstaking planning. All that for an empty jar?
Monica, don't do anything stupid. This ruin is more dangerous than you realize.
Oh, shut your pie hole!
Praise be to Lord Remus.
Oh,
You barbarian shall be slain.
oh no.
She's a nutcase, a liability to herself and everyone else. Well, now it's up to us to
That's
clean
not
up the
what I
mess
wanted
she's
to
made.
do.
Take the golems out.
Well, that's wild. We witnessed another murder. Another death, I mean. Wow.
Light it up.
Mind your step! Mind the wind.
So you missed, idiot. There you go.
Ah! Why is this place still shaking? Either way, it's all her fault. Enough chit-chat. Let's get out of here, Traveler Escoffier, come on!
Okay, I'm coming.
Oh, no,
Damn.
you don't. If I can't get what I want, neither will any of you.
How did you survive that slash? And where's
I've got
Savannah?
nothing to show for my life's work so far. But if I can take another so-called genius down with me in my final moment, then it was all worth it.
You're a psycho.
damn? Oh, she hit him with the jar.
Oh, when did you wake up?
Just
I may be a lousy chef, but it looks like I'm not a complete waste of space.
Traveler? Okay, let's go.
she rocked him with the jar. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. That's wild.
Escoffier! Savannah!
Traveler! And Paimon!
How the fuck?
Venejem! What are you all doing here?
How did you guys find me?
What did you expect us to do? Stay at the restaurant and sit on our merry derrieres? While the Traveler and Escoffier were out here risking their lives?
We had to do something, even though that something ended up being, well, waiting for you here instead.
I don't deserve any of you. And I certainly don't deserve to be your head chef. It was my fault Escoffier had to leave. Then I couldn't live up to her standards. I acted like a tyrant in the kitchen. And now I almost got myself killed. Come back, Escoffier. Come and be our head chef again. I'll never be able to replace you.
Okay, so everything I said to you the day I left, it just went in one ear and out the other?
Huh? Sorry, I was kinda in my own head at the time. All I could think about was the Lumiline situation. What was it you said again?
Forget it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I didn't leave this job because of you. And you're not nearly as awful a chef as you think. If you were that bad, why would all your staff show up here for you?
Escoffier's right. Sure, you nitpick our work and get us to do things over a lot. But when it comes down to it, you're the one who's always doing whatever it takes to make sure the customers get served on time, every time.
Things were pretty rough after Escoffier left, and Savannah's the only reason we've been able to make it through.
Our customers know that Escoffier doesn't work for us anymore. But the fact is, they keep coming back. If that's not an endorsement of your work, I don't know what is. At the end of the day, we're all human, and we all make mistakes. All we can do is recognize where we get it wrong and do our best to improve. That's all that's humanly possible.
Yeah,
No,
true.
I get what you're saying, but what I did to Firmin and to Escoffier, it's unforgivable.
Well, about that, there's someone else here to see you, Chef.
It's been a while, Chef Savannah.
Firmin? I'm so sorry. I put far too much pressure on you. And the way I stubbornly refused to go and see you after you fell ill. There's no excuse. But I'm too late, aren't I? The damage is done. I heard that you can't even hold a kitchen knife anymore.
Actually, I think I'm going to be just fine.
Huh?
What?
We thought Firmin's problem was purely psychological in nature. But after the threat letter came to light, it got Firmin thinking. And then he remembered the tea that Monica used to give him every night. And as it turns out, she was lacing it with Lumiline the whole time.
No way! Doesn't that cause nerve damage?
It can. High doses pose a risk of serious nervous and sensory complications. But if you calculate the dosage carefully, you can control the extent of its effects. A small dose might simply make a person more emotional, whether that means more fragile or more hot-tempered.
No wonder it seemed like you'd lost your edge.
I asked my friends at the Fontaine Research Institute about it. They said that with the low dose I was taking, the risks are pretty small. They also fixed me up with some meds and said I should recover in no time.
Nice.
Well, that's what happens when you give someone a little bit of hope to cling on to.
There's more. We believe that Firmin was likely not Monica's only victim.
You mean she poisoned me too?
Oh, so that's why Savannah's been so irritable this whole time!
Let's not be too quick to blame everything on the Lumiline. That stuff can only amplify what's already there. So tasty food will seem like the most delicious thing in the world, while food you don't particularly care for will become utterly revolting. So you better make sure you reflect on your behavior and apologize to every single person you've wronged.
I will.
Let's go.
I'm sorry. There's still one question that's really bugging me. Why
What's
is
that?
it that no matter what I do, my Gâteau de Bourg never tastes the same as yours? Is it just... I mean, is it because You're a genius and I'm not?
It's because the heating element in your oven is broken, you silly goose.
What?
That's it?
I felt like something was off during the cooking contest. Once I got around to checking all the equipment, I noticed it right away. There was a half-degree discrepancy between the temperature setting and the actual temperature. All the ovens in the whole kitchen had the same problem, which confused me at the time, but by this point, it's pretty obvious that Monica must have tampered with them. I would have figured it out the day of the bake-off, since the issue affected both our teams. But of course, Monica sabotaged mine so that could never happen.
No. I spent so long trying to find out where I was going wrong, and then you pinpoint the problem in just one night? It all comes back to one simple, undeniable truth. You're a genius, and I'm just plain old Savannah.
Oh, cut it out! Stop the woe is me act for a second and just think. I came up with this recipe. You don't think that might have something to do with it? Do you know how long I spent perfecting my gâteau de bois? 3 years! 3 whole years! I know this dish inside out, back to front and upside down. And you've been head chef now for what, 6 months? If that? A couple hundred failed attempts, and you're gonna throw in the kitchen towel and declare you'll never be successful because you're not a genius. You clearly have no idea how many kitchen failures I've had under my belt, or just how long it took me to finally get my recipe to a level I was satisfied with. Genius or not, everyone makes mistakes. Modeste did, Savelli did, everyone does. You're only a lousy chef if you don't face up to your mistakes, learn from them, and then keep chipping away until you crack the problem once and for all. Surely you haven't forgotten all that. You were no lousy chef back when I handed you the reins.
I haven't forgotten. And I'll make sure I never do.
That's our head chef. Ha ha! Sounds like we won't need another changing of the guard in the Hotel de Bord kitchen anytime soon. Huzzah!
Aw,
Huzzah!
perfect ending to a crazy journey. Look how happy everyone is.
So you got your mojo back now?
Yeah. Thanks to you, Escoffier. In fact, no. Thanks to all of you.
Aw, friends again. So nice to see them finally settle their beef.
Good. So now that's out of the way. It's time for payback. You cheated in our last bake-off, and I demand a rematch right now.
But that was mostly Monica's fault, wasn't it?
Right. And also, does it have to be right now? Savannah's only just got her mojo back, and you barely escaped from a death trap.
No excuses. This is a cooking contest between 2 top chefs, and
Okay.
nothing will stand in its way. So grab your spatula and get ready, because this rematch is happening today. Right now, this instant.
Hey, so, this whole time you were salty about losing?
She sure was.
The second cooking contest commences now!
This time, no more games, and no holding back.
All right. Okay.
I feel like I don't have the right to be here.
Hey, what are you so afraid of? You can't unbake it now. And if you don't serve it, then good or bad, you'll never find out how to improve. If you're too scared to fail, you'll never know what real success tastes like. So?
Embrace your failure. Taste it. Digest it. That's the way to success.
I don't know. Sounds like it's easier said than done.
I'll do it.
Nice.
The results are in! A landslide victory for Escoffier!
Quite rightly, too. Piece of cake.
Literally.
Oh yeah, look at that! Savannah looks pretty chipper too, considering she lost.
Now, where were we? Yes. Do you have any more questions for me after everything that's happened? I thought Navia would have filled you in. And actually, I said all this to Savannah before I left. Although, as we saw, I don't think any of it sank in. I had two reasons for leaving. One was the food safety incident, of course, but the other was that the Hotel de Boer had reached a point where it didn't need me anymore. So I decided to step down and look for new opportunities to improve myself.
Improve how?
Well, a while back, I got to know a fellow chef from Liyue, and in her, I saw so
wonder who it
many
is.
new
Okay.
possibilities. She has that same adventurous spirit that Modeste and Sibeli had in their youth. Slime mucus, lizard tails. With her, nothing's off the table. There's a whole world of new flavors out there waiting to be explored.
There you go, she admitted
hiding
it.
away in ingredients we overlook.
Because someone was debating who's the best chef. I mean, she already admitted it right there that Xiangling is.
Case in point, remember those Romaritime flowers down in the ruins? I used them in the cooking contest just now. Did you taste the difference?
What? Paimon didn't notice at all.
Half of the art of cooking is dissecting the recipes of previous chefs and figuring out the exact constellation of elements that gave their work its signature taste. And the other half, it lies in freeing yourself from the confines of the kitchen. You've got to go out and explore the endless possibilities out there.
Uh-oh. Paimon's suddenly not sure she wants to try your cooking anymore.
Don't worry, it's not gonna be a free-for-all like in Modeste's time. Before I put anything into my food, I'll obviously do my research, make sure it doesn't contain any harmful substances. In the meantime, take this. It's a recipe for Petit Gâteau de Boer, revised version. I tweaked it to suit your needs as busy adventurers. Hope you enjoy, and remember, feedback is always welcome.
Thank you.
So, do you ever see yourself returning to Hotel de Boer?
Oh, of course. I've already promised Banishem that I'll come back every once in a while to make sure the quality of the food remains at an acceptable level.
You know, Paimon's still a little disappointed that we never got to see the treasure of Remoria. Surely Monica wouldn't have gotten drawn in so deeply if it wasn't for all the mystery surrounding the original Gâteau de Boer. She practically dedicated her life to finding the lost pieces of Modeste's diary. Then went to all that trouble to infiltrate the Hotel de Boer. And in the end, it was all for nothing.
Since you mentioned the treasure, between Modeste's writings and what we saw in those ruins, I think I may have figured out the truth.
And what's
The
that?
so-called treasure of Remoria was most likely a substance that the Remorians extracted from Lumitoiles, better known to us as Lumiline.
Huh? So then, why all the hype back in the early days of Gâteau de Boer?
Don't forget, it was a very different era. We could barely even refine sugar back then. So desserts were very much in their infancy. In a world of bland food, it's
Yeah.
no wonder that the first thing to really excite people's taste buds took the world by storm. And as for the Lumaline, it may well
Makes
have been
sense.
somewhat valuable in ancient times. But these days, it's just another drug from the Fontaine Research Institute. Even if Savelli hadn't destroyed it all, I doubt it would be worth that much these days.
So after all that, there was nothing in those ruins but worthless junk. Feels strange to say it,
I
but
mean-
Paimon almost feels sorry for Monica. She sacrificed it all only to get nothing in return.
Hey!
Yes, Navia?
Huh? Navia?
You just got back from that underwater ruin, right?
Yes,
Well,
we did.
check it out. They ran a special issue. Did you see anything
Already?
like
Yo,
this
Charlotte
down
be
there?
on.
Freshly
she be
unearthed
on
from
it.
the ruins of Rumoria. A magnificent jar thought to be over 1,000 years old. Experts say it has immense artistic and historical value. It could be worth an absolute fortune.
Oh. Oh no, this is story before we entered. Oh, that vase was gonna be oh my god. Oh no.
Isn't that the jar they used to hold the treasure?
If only it was still in one piece. Some butterfingers must have dropped it or something. Ugh, it's such a shame.
Oh no.